Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 1, Unit 10 Review, Video number 2. We're on the back side of the review. Now, number 12 says to graph the function and identify the axis of symmetry and vertexes. Use x equals the opposite of b over 2a and plot at least 5 points. Alright, let's get started with this. Now, the first thing I notice about number 12 is that there's no b term, okay? And if there's no b term, remember it's y equals negative 1/2 x squared plus 0x plus 5. So that kind of helps identify all of those terms for us. So now we can clearly see that a equals negative 1/2, b equals 0, and c equals 5. So to find the vertex, you go x equals the opposite of b. Well, the opposite of 0 is 0. There's no negative 0, okay? So now 2 times a, and a is negative 1/2. So no matter what happens right there, I'm going to know that x is 0, okay? And now 0 tells me that that goes straight in the center, okay? And now when we're doing this graph, okay, you go on the number line. I want 2 numbers greater and 2 numbers less than, okay? So that's where we're going to get negative 1, negative 2, and 1 and 2. All right, now we have to find the other point of the vertex. And to find that, we're going to plug it into y equals the negative 1/2 x squared plus 5. And we know that that is 0. Okay, and when we do all of that, we're going to get our answer that y equals 5. All right, now to find the other points, remember that these 2 points are going to be the same, and these 2 points are going to be the same. So let's go ahead, and all we have to do is plug them into the formula. So y equals negative 1/2 times negative 1 squared plus 5. Okay, and we do that, we get 4.5. Oh, there we go. So both of those are going to be 4.5. And now we're going to do the same thing, except now I'm going to plug in 2 plus 5. And we get 3. Now, my axis of symmetry, oh, we got to plug in the vertex right there so we know what it is. My axis of symmetry is related to that right there. So whatever that x is, that's what our axis of symmetry is going to be. Okay? Up 5. Why did I write a 5? 0, because that's what x is. Hopefully you guys caught that before I did. So at x equals 0, that's my axis of symmetry. And we draw a dotted line. Now, is this going to open up or is it going to open down? Remember, you look at that term and it tells you this graph is going to be down. So my vertex is the highest point, so 0, 5. Okay? So now I go to negative 1, 4.5, which is right around there, and then negative 2, 3. the other points. And now when we draw the line, we want this to be as curved as possible up at the top. Okay? And this is what it's going to look like. Okay, try to make it as round as you can. I'm going to make this guy look a little bit better because it looks kind of sad. There we go. And remember, you got to put the arrows on it, which means it's pointing down. All right? Okay. Number 13. If you want to try number 13 all by yourself, go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, I'm going to do it with you. Okay, well, that was enough time to pause it. Let's get started. Now, this says to graph the function by identifying and labeling the vertex, axis of symmetry, and the x-intercepts. So let's go ahead and do that. We need to know that A is 1, B is -8, and C is 12. So to find the vertex, I want the opposite of B, which is going to be +8, 2 times A. So that's going to give us 4. So my vertex is 4. And now to find the other point, we're going to plug it into y equals 4 squared minus 8 times 4 plus 12. 4 squared is 16 minus 32 plus 12. And when you do all of that, you're going to get -4. Sorry, I did it the faster way in my head. But if you want to punch all of that in, it's 4 squared minus 8 times 4 plus 12. And you get -4. What do you know? My brain's just a little bit faster than the calculator. All right, so remember that the axis of symmetry refers to that x, okay? So our axis of symmetry is going to be x equals 4. And I got it right that time. Okay, so right at x equals 4, I'm going to go ahead and draw my dash point, my dash line. Now, is this going to open up or open down? Well, this one's going to open up because it's positive. So I know that 4, -4 is my point. So let's see. We did the vertex. We did the axis of symmetry. Now we're going to find the x-intercepts. And to do that, remember that we have our equation 0 equals x squared minus 8x plus 12. We're going to plug in a 0 to solve this. Okay, so we can either solve it by factoring, take out a GCF, do inverse operations, or the quadratic formula. I'm going to go with factoring here because this is numbers that add up to get to, whoops, -8, but multiply to get to 12. Can you think of any numbers that add up to 8 and multiply to get to -12? Well, if you've forgotten the factors of 12, they're 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And I'm pretty sure that we can use -2 and -6. Okay? So let's split the middle term. We get x squared minus 2x minus 6x plus 12 equals 0. Okay, we can factor out an x and then a -6. So x comes out front, we're left with x minus 2, the -6 comes out, and we're left with x minus 2, which is good. And then we get x minus 6, x minus 2 equals 0. We set each one of those guys, because they have a variable, equal to 0. And we get x equals 6 and x equals 2. And now remember that we want our intercepts. Intercepts are points. So our points are 2, 0 and 6, 0. So 2, 0 and 6, 0. Now that we have that, we have all the information we need to draw our graph. Okay, so there's our parabola. See that it's got a nice round bottom to it. Draw your arrows, and you are good. Okay? Now, if you have any questions on this, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself on the front or back half, because after this, guess what, guys? It's the test. So, any questions? Come give us a holler. Otherwise, that's it for Algebra 1, the Unit 10 review. Thanks for watching.